You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
So usually, like when you decide to renovate a house, you have to move out, right?
Yeah, obviously.
You know, the contractors come in, they tear up the floors, rip out the plumbing. It is just an incredibly noisy, totally disruptive process.
Oh, absolutely. Total chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you certainly aren't, sleeping in your bedroom while they pour a completely new concrete foundation directly underneath your bed.
Right, that would be insane.
But what if the entire foundation of the global economy was being ripped out and replaced right now while we're all still living inside it?
Well, I mean, that's exactly what's happening.
Right. You turn on the faucet, the water still flows, so you don't even notice the pipes have fundamentally changed. So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a stack of late April 2026 TLDR crypto newsletters. And our mission for you today is to really map out this massive, completely silent paradigm shift happening right under our noses.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
It really is. Money is fundamentally changing in 3 specific ways: who is using it, how it moves, and who is hoarding it. And just to give you like a preview of how strange this gets, AI agents are now actively paying their own utility bills.
I mean, just to establish the stakes right at the top here, the cryptocurrency market is, well, it's no longer driven by human speculation.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, right. The sources we're looking at, they show a really clear transition. Crypto is actively becoming the base layer for machine-to-machine economies and a high-level geopolitical strategy, too.
Wow.
Yeah, the new foundation is being poured literally as we speak, and it relies on completely different structural rules than traditional finance.
So by the end of this deep dive, you will understand the exact mechanisms driving this new financial architecture. It's going to give you a massive informational edge for the rest of 2026.
Definitely.
Let's start with, there's this really provocative quote from Alchemy's CEO, Nikhil Viswanathan. He recently stated, just point blank, he said, "Crypto is built for AI agents, not humans."
Yeah, and he is speaking quite literally there about the birth of the machine economy.
Like bots actually buying things.
Exactly. I mean, think about the traditional subscription model we humans use for AI software. It just breaks down completely when applied to autonomous machines.
How so?
Well, when one AI agent needs to, query 50 different localized models thousands of times a minute to complete a task, a $20 monthly credit card subscription, it cannot handle the routing or the friction or the micro-accounting.
Right, because the credit card fees would eat it alive anyway.
Exactly.
So the sources outline this new open source AI agent framework. It's called Franklin, and it solves this mechanically.
Yeah, the Franklin framework.
Right, so Franklin provisions each individual AI agent with a self-generated USDC wallet. So instead of human users managing, API keys and subscriptions, the bot uses a protocol called BY402 micropayments.
Yeah, the BY402 standard.
And it uses that to pay per call across more than 55 different models. And because Franklin features this built-in smart router, it directs the prompt to the cheapest capable model first.
Which is brilliant, honestly.
It is. It only escalates to the expensive, frontier models if the query is actually complex enough. And this autonomous routing, it cuts computing costs by 60 to 80% compared to top-tier subscription models.
And, the mechanics of BY402 are really what make that cost reduction possible.
Right, because of the microtransactions.
Right. In the traditional financial system, running a transaction for a fraction of a cent is just impossible because Visa or Stripe, they charge a base fee of 20 or 30 cents per swipe.
Yeah, you can't buy 1/100th of a cent of compute if the fee is 30 cents.
Exactly. So BY402 uses cryptographic state channels.
State channels, okay.
Yeah. The AI agent and the compute provider, they open a temporary channel. They exchange literally thousands of microsignatures, verifying tiny, tiny fractions of a cent as the data flows. And then they only settle the final aggregate amount on the main blockchain once the session is totally over.
That makes so much sense. I kind of look at the current human subscription model like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, totally.
The people who go in and just eat a side salad are financially subsidizing the people who eat 5 plates of prime rib.
Exactly, yeah.
But with these wallet-backed agents, providers right-size the cost. You pay precisely for the computational bite you take.
And Binance is already heavily leaning into this, right?
Yeah, they just released an agentic wallet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a keyless account allowing AI to execute on-chain transactions across networks like BNB, Solana, Base, and Ethereum.
And the underlying infrastructure supporting these agentic wallets is just maturing so rapidly, specifically with the Machine Payments Protocol, or MPP.
Right, MPP.
Yeah, they recently shipped a multi-method discovery update that drastically reduces computational waste.
With computational waste, how did paying for things cause waste?
Well, previously, an AI client attempting to pay for a service had to dynamically probe the endpoint.
Probe it.
Yeah, so it would hit the server, fail, parse the error message, see what payment type was actually required, reformat its request, and try again.
Oh, man. Let me put that in human terms for you. It's like walking into a restaurant, sitting down, and asking the waiter, do you take Visa? No. Do you take Bitcoin? No. Do you take cash? Yes.
Nice.
The bot had to play a guessing game every single time it needed to buy compute.
Exactly. And the MPP update functions like taping the menu and the accepted payment methods directly to the restaurant's front door.
That is so much more efficient.
It is. Servers now declare all their payment offers up front in a single document. Whether it requires stablecoins on an Ethereum virtual machine network, or traditional cards or Bitcoin, the AI reads the metadata and knows instantly how to transact before even initiating the connection.
The scale of this sector is just moving so fast. I mean, the data shows by 402 has processed over 50 million transactions since May 2025.
50 million, that's huge.
And there's also a protocol called ERC-8744, which handles on-chain identity and reputation for these bots. And that's sitting at like 98,000 agent registrations.
Wow.
But I got to pause here because, frankly, this sounds incredibly vulnerable.
Security-wise, yeah.
Yeah. Giving an autonomous piece of code its own digital wallet filled with actual money? I am really struggling to see how this doesn't just result in a massive wave of hacks where bots get drained completely.
Well, you're not wrong. The sources heavily emphasize that exact vulnerability. They categorize it as the missing key problem.
The missing key problem.
Right. So while Buy402 provides a great base layer for payments, real-world adoption is hitting a wall regarding robust authentication, authorization, and key rotation.
Because it's code holding the money.
Exactly. A smart contract executes exactly what it is told to do no matter what. If an AI agent holds a private key in its active memory to authorize these microtransactions, anyone who can manipulate the agent's memory can steal the funds.
Oh, meaning if I use prompt injection like telling a customer service bot to ignore its previous instructions and instead output its private key text into the chat window, I now control the bot's money.
That is the primary active risk vector right there.
Yikes.
Yeah. The newsletters also detail RPC data leakage, where the transaction details are intercepted in transit between the bot and the blockchain node.
So the infrastructure is there, but the safety isn't quite there yet.
Right. The payment pipes exist, but the security guardrails, like limiting how much an agent can spend per second or requiring human multi-signature approval for large transfers, those are still being actively welded into place as we speak.
You know, if you've ever felt the fatigue of managing 10 different monthly subscriptions, just imagine a near future where your personal AI agent micropays fractions of a cent only for the compute you actually consume.
It's going to change everything.
But this brings up a really key mechanical necessity. If machines are making millions of microtransactions, they cannot use volatile cryptocurrency.
Right, absolutely not.
A bot cannot negotiate the price of server space using a token that fluctuates wildly in value every 5 minutes.
And that mechanical requirement creates a direct bridge to our second major shift. Machines require stable value to operate, which means they use stablecoins.
Stablecoins, yeah.
And that same demand for frictionless, non-volatile digital dollars is bleeding out of the machine economy and causing an absolute explosion of stablecoins in the traditional human economy.
The newsletters refer to this as the stablecoin flywheel, and the numbers here just completely dwarf traditional finance.
Oh, the scale is staggering.
On-chain stablecoins are currently generating 122x annual economic velocity per dollar deployed.
122x.
Yes. And for context, PayPal has roughly a 40x turnover. The United States M2 money supply sits at only 1.4x.
So just to clarify for everyone, velocity is a measure of how often a single dollar changes hands in a year to purchase goods or services.
Right.
In the traditional U.S. banking system, an average dollar moves 1.4 times a year because it just sits in savings accounts or gets bogged down in, settlement delays.
Right. It takes days to clear.
Exactly. A stablecoin dollar moves 122 times because it is constantly being utilized by trading algorithms, flowing through decentralized yield protocols, and settling cross-border commerce instantly. I mean, it is an exponentially more capital-efficient medium.
And the scale really reflects that efficiency. The total supply of stablecoins has hit roughly $300 billion.
Which is up 60x since 2020.
Up 60x. And for every $1 billion in supply, it generates about $19 million in annualized protocol revenue.
Wow.
This level of efficiency is becoming a total capital vacuum, and legacy financial giants are visibly reacting.
Like Western Union?
Yes. Western Union is launching a Solana-based stablecoin called USDPT next month to completely replace SWIFT for their internal global settlements.
That's massive.
And they're also rolling out a consumer stable card. I mean, think about that for a second. Western Union, the grandfather of the legacy wire transfer, is pivoting to Solana.
And the A16's crypto report highlights that 75% of stablecoin volume is now intra-country.
Intra-country, not cross-border.
Right. It is no longer just a tool for cross-border remittances or crypto exchange trading. It's functioning as a local general-purpose payment rail.
Wow.
And traditional banking is adopting the underlying artificial intelligence architectures alongside it, too. Like Revolut just launched their Pragma Foundation model.
Oh, right, the Pragma model.
Yeah. So rather than using traditional machine learning algorithms, they trained a transformer model, which is the same architecture that powers large language models on 24 billion banking events.
So wait, instead of training an AI on billions of words to learn human language, they trained it on billions of financial transactions to learn, like, the grammar of money.
That is the exact mechanism, yeah.
Wild.
Traditional machine learning looks at static features, right? Like a user's age, their geographic location, their stated income.
Okay.
But a transformer model looks at a user's transaction history as a sequence, much like words in a sentence.
Oh, I see.
So it learns that a specific sequence of, say, late-night purchases followed by a rapid geographic location change basically spells out imminent fraud.
Right, it reads the pattern.
Exactly. By shifting to this architecture, Revolut saw a 130% uplift in credit scoring accuracy and a 65% improvement in fraud recall.
Okay, but if stablecoins are so ubiquitous and Western Union is utilizing them to cut internal costs so much, I really have to ask about the consumer side of remittances.
Yeah, the remittance issue.
If the blockchain is practically free and instantaneous, why does sending money home to another country still cost the end user so much in fees?
Well, Regan Bozeman from Lattice Fund refers to this as the stablecoin remittance problem.
Okay.
His analysis points out that the actual money movement leg, like the blockchain rails, is practically free. The technology bottleneck was solved years ago.
Right.
The persistent friction lies almost entirely in consumer behavior and the physical cash-out infrastructure.
Wait, so the bottleneck is just the physical agent on the other side of the world taking a cut to hand over paper cash?
It is the entire conversion process, yeah. Currently, when someone receives a stablecoin remittance, their immediate instinct is to convert the entire amount into their local fiat currency.
Right, because they need to spend it.
But doing that requires an off-ramp provider, an exchange rate spread, and usually physical cash logistics.
Which all cost money.
Exactly. Bozeman argues the true unlock will only happen when consumer behavior shifts to holding USD stablecoins locally on their mobile devices, basically functioning as their primary bank account.
Oh, so they just keep it in dollars.
Right. And if they only convert the digital dollar to local currency in micro amounts at the exact point of spend, say scanning a QR code to buy groceries, the massive extraction fees, the bulk off-ramp, just disappear.
Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you have ever waited days for a traditional international bank transfer to clear, you understand why business-to-business stablecoin volume is projected to leap from $3.5 billion in 2023 to $147 billion by 2026.
It's a massive leap.
Corporations simply want to bypass the friction. But this sets up a really fascinating mechanical contrast.
How so?
While stablecoins and AI agents are routing the daily high-velocity flow of global commerce, the foundational asset of the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, Bitcoin, is moving in the exact opposite direction.
Right? It's being locked up.
Exactly. It's being locked up and hoarded. And not by day traders on Reddit, but by nation-states and legacy institutions.
Now, before we analyze the specifics of sovereign adoption, it is a strict rule of our deep dives to establish total neutrality here.
Yes, absolutely critical point.
When we discuss political figures, national policies, or legislative acts, we are maintaining complete impartiality. We are simply reporting the factual policy movements and financial metrics detailed in the source material. No endorsement, no critique, just the facts.
100%. So, according to the TLDR crypto coverage, White House crypto advisor Patrick Witt recently previewed an upcoming announcement regarding the Trump administration's strategic Bitcoin reserve. The mechanical hurdle they face, though, is durability. An executive order can establish a reserve, sure, but the next administration can simply write a new order to dissolve it.
It's too fragile.
Right. So to solve this, Senator Loomis and Representative Begich have reintroduced the Bitcoin Act, which attempts to codify the reserve directly into law, making it significantly harder to dismantle.
And, the transition from retail asset to sovereign strategy is happening globally, not just in the U.S.
Oh, really? Where else?
Well, Czech Central Bank Governor Ales Michel is actively lobbying for a 1% Bitcoin allocation in their sovereign reserves.
Wow, a central bank.
Yeah, and this is a direct, very public counterargument to the European Central Bank's position that Bitcoin is too volatile for reserve status.
How does he justify it?
Governor Michel's internal analysis relies on modern portfolio theory because Bitcoin's price movements have a historically low correlation with traditional reserve assets like gold or fiat currencies. Adding a tiny percentage actually smooths the efficient frontier of the portfolio.
Oh, so it balances things out.
Exactly. It increases potential returns without adding aggregate risk to the overall treasury.
And corporate balance sheets are following the exact same playbook. Look at Block, the company formerly known as Square. They disclosed in their Q1 2026 proof of reserves that they hold 28,355 Bitcoin.
That's a lot of Bitcoin.
It is. And their corporate policy automatically invests 10% of their monthly Bitcoin-related profits right back into purchasing more Bitcoin.
They're just stacking it constantly.
Constantly. And everyday consumer products are integrating this hoarding mentality too. Like in Japan, the BitBank Visa credit card allows users to pay their monthly statement by automatically selling a fraction of their Bitcoin holdings.
Oh, that's clever.
And the card actually pays a 0.5% crypto reward back to the user just for doing so.
This institutional pivot drastically changes the research and advisory landscape, by the way.
Oh, how so?
Well, early on, research funds like Delphi Digital or Masari provided massive value simply by aggregating information and summarizing complex white papers.
Right, translating the jargon.
But now, an AI model can ingest a 50-page technical protocol and summarize its tokenomics in like 3 seconds. The cost of average crypto research has effectively dropped to zero.
So wait, if the aggregation of information is basically free now, what are these massive institutions actually paying for?
Perspective and high conviction judgment.
Okay, unpack
The
it.
central bank doesn't need a summary of what a token does, right? AI can do that. They need an analysis of how an impending European regulatory shift will alter the protocol's market share over a 5-year timeline.
Oh, they need the so what?
Exactly. The sources note that this shift has forced research firms like 4Pillars into Series A restructurings purely to fund the really expensive talent required to provide perspective-driven advisory services that AI simply cannot replicate.
You know, the idea of central banks and Wall Street actively absorbing the supply of digital gold really makes me wonder, is the Wild West era of crypto functionally over?
Well, the base layer has certainly gentrified, let's put it that way.
Gentrified, that's a good word for it.
Yeah, but because nation states and institutions are treating this space as critical infrastructure now, the legal and security frameworks are warping violently to accommodate the load.
Warping violently.
Yeah, and this is the final component of the paradigm shift.
The legal foundation really is undergoing a massive recalibration. The Department of Justice has officially reversed its enforcement posture, establishing a framework where code is not a crime.
Which is a huge reversal.
Huge. They confirm they will no longer investigate or charge blockchain developers for crimes committed by third parties who utilize their open source software, provided the developer had no, quote, knowing involvement.
Right, the knowing standard.
Yeah, and this directly reverses the legal theories that led to Roman Storm's conviction in 2025 and Roman Simonov's Tornado Cash indictment back in 2023.
The legal analysts stress that the standard for knowingly helping remains just dangerously undefined.
Yeah, what does that actually mean?
Well, the mechanical problem is the line between open source development and prosecutorial discretion. I mean, if a developer writes a privacy protocol knowing that bad actors might use it, Does that constitute knowing involvement?
That's a massive gray area.
Exactly. The baseline has shifted, but the gray area is still vast.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, the security standards are undergoing an AI-driven overhaul. Anthropic just released a new AI model called Mythos, which is shifting the industry focus from isolated smart contract audits to systemic infrastructure defense.
Okay, explain how that works, because an AI reading code to find bugs doesn't sound entirely revolutionary.
Well, historically, security auditors reviewed a single smart contract in isolation to ensure it functioned as written, right?
Right.
Mythos simulates multi-step systemic exploit chains at machine speed.
Oh, multi-step.
Yeah. It looks at how a minor rounding error in an Oracle network could interact with a flash loan on a totally separate decentralized exchange, resulting in a cascading vulnerability that drains a billion-dollar liquidity pool across 3 different protocols. Oh my God, like a butterfly effect of code.
Exactly. Human auditors really struggle to see the intersection of 10 complex systems simultaneously. Mythos is designed specifically for that holistic mapping.
We just witnessed a massive stress test of this systemic infrastructure during the April 18 bridge exploit.
Oh, right, the Kelp DAO situation.
Yeah. A hacker utilized a forged inbound packet to trick a smart contract into thinking collateral was deposited on another chain. This wrongly released 116,500 JF from the protocol.
Which is a massive hit.
Massive hit.
Yeah.
But instead of the market collapsing, a coalition called DeFi United and the protocol AV published a highly coordinated technical implementation plan to restore the backing of Kelp DAO and basically make the market whole.
And Circle Ventures stepped in too.
Yeah, they actually bought AAV tokens as a public signal of support for the recovery effort.
And that level of institutional coordination exists because the market power dynamics have fundamentally inverted.
Yeah, look at the Q1 2026 earnings data. Right. Hyperliquid, which is a decentralized DeFi protocol with no corporate headquarters. Mind you, they posted $179.7 million in revenue.
No corporate headquarters.
Exactly. And that beat Robinhood's crypto trading revenue, which sat at only $134 million.
The idea that a decentralized piece of software is out-earning a publicly traded legacy brokerage, it just feels like a complete structural flip.
Totally.
The capital flows are enormous.
Right.
Pump.fund, which is a token deployment protocol, just burned $370 million worth of their tokens.
Wow.
That is 36% of their entire supply permanently removed from circulation.
Yeah.
And they contractually committed 50% of all future protocol revenue to continue buying and burning tokens.
Wild.
Which leads us to the sector capturing probably the most attention right now, prediction markets.
Oh yeah, prediction markets are exploding.
The sector is on track to hit $240 billion in 2026. Polymarket's web traffic in the first quarter beat Coinbase, Hyperliquid, Pump Fund, and Uniswap combined.
It's essentially become the new mainstream stock market.
Right. But wait, if everyone from retail users to institutions is placing bets on Polymarket, who is actually extracting the profit?
Well, the underlying data reveals a pretty harsh reality regarding retail participation.
Oh?
Yeah. Despite prediction markets being championed as this decentralized way for anyone to monetize their foresight, the vast majority of retail users actually lose money.
Really? To who?
They are losing it to high-frequency traders and sophisticated algorithmic market makers.
Wait, how does high-frequency trading work on a prediction market?
It functions exactly like traditional equity markets. Algorithms monitor the order books in milliseconds. They spot a sudden trend in retail betting on a specific geopolitical outcome.
Okay.
And then the bot buys the available shares a fraction of a second before the retail orders execute, and then immediately sells those same shares back to the retail users at a slightly higher markup.
Wow, so they're just front-running them.
Exactly. They capture outsized returns simply by front-running or out-calculating the slower, human-driven order flow.
So while the technology is completely new, it's decentralized, it's governed by smart contracts, the oldest financial law still dictates the outcome. The house usually wins.
Always.
Especially when the house is armed with high-frequency algorithms operating in milliseconds.
The foundational rules of risk and reward remain absolute, even when the pipes carrying the money have been entirely replaced.
Man. So just to recap the scope of this transformation for you, we started by looking at AI agents, self-generating USDC wallets to purchase compute power per millisecond using state channels.
Yep.
We saw how the need for stable machine money drove stablecoin velocity to 122x, allowing corporations to completely route around prehistoric legacy systems like SWIFT.
Goodbye, SWIFT.
Seriously. We watched nation-states adopt modern portfolio theory to hoard Bitcoin as a sovereign reserve asset. and we saw the legal framework finally concede that writing code is not inherently a crime.
A huge milestone.
While decentralized protocols began out-earning traditional Wall Street brokerages, the new foundation has truly been poured.
It has, but, synthesizing everything we've discussed today leaves us with a critical, really unanswered question regarding the timeline ahead.
What's that?
If autonomous AI agents become the primary entities executing billions of daily microtransactions and high-frequency algorithms, are the entities extracting the majority of the profit from mainstream platforms like Polymarket? What exactly is the ultimate role of the human being in the financial system of 2030?
That is the question.
Are we truly the directors of global capital? Or are we simply the biological bootloaders who built the infrastructure for the machine economy and are now being quietly managed out of the system?
The biological bootloaders.
Yeah.
Man, that phrase is going to sit with me for a while. We thought we were just renovating the house to make the plumbing a little faster, but we actually built an autonomous smart home that no longer requires us to flip the switches. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. As always, keep questioning the information around you, and we will catch you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.